You know that feeling of constant distraction? That nagging sense that you should be able to focus, but you just can't seem to make it happen? You're staring at your screen, trying to force yourself to be productive, but your brain just feels like it's stuck in mud. You start blaming your willpower, your motivation, maybe even what you had for lunch. But what if it's not actually your fault? What if I told you there are hidden psychological triggers all around you, in your room, on your desk, and even on your phone, that are scientifically proven to kill your focus? Today, we're going to expose them. These aren't just little annoyances. They're cognitive traps that hijack your attention without you even realizing it. And I'm going to give you 6 simple, science-backed steps to disarm these triggers and finally reclaim your attention, starting right now. Before we get to the how-to, we need to understand the why. Why does your physical space have such a huge impact on your mental state? It all comes down to something called cognitive load. Think of your brain's attention like the RAM on your computer. It's a limited resource. Every single thing in your line of sight that isn't related to what you're doing right now eats up a little bit of that RAM. A study from the Princeton University Neuroscience Institute found that physical clutter in your surroundings literally competes for your attention, which leads to worse performance and more stress. Your brain is wired for survival. So, to your subconscious, that pile of papers isn't just a to-do list. It's a stack of unresolved problems. That tangled mess of charging cables, the stack of coffee mugs, the unopened mail, every one is a tiny, open loop that your brain feels like it has to keep track of. This constant, low-level visual noise creates mental fatigue, making it almost impossible to get into a state of deep focus. It's not about a lack of discipline. It's a battle against your own biology. Living or working in a messy space can even raise your cortisol levels, the stress hormone that directly triggers anxiety. But the good news is, you can fight back. It all starts with finding and getting rid of these triggers, one by one. Let's start with your physical environment. This is your command center for focus, and right now, it might be rigged to work against you. Here are the 3 biggest physical triggers and how to deal with them. Trigger number 1, the clutter cascade. This is the most obvious enemy of focus, but it's also the one we underestimate the most. A cluttered desk doesn't just look messy, it actively messes with your ability to think. Research shows that all that clutter leads to cognitive overload, making it harder to process information. It can create a feeling of being out of control, which then triggers anxiety. The solution is a simple rule I call clear to neutral. Your desk is not a storage unit. At the end of every workday, take just 5 minutes to return your workspace to a neutral state. Papers filed, pens in their holder, surfaces wiped down. This isn't just about being tidy, it's a psychological reset. A clean workspace cuts down on the number of tiny decisions you have to make all day, saving your mental energy for what actually matters. By resetting to neutral, you're signaling to your brain that the day is done, which stops work from bleeding into your personal time and lets you start fresh the next day. Trigger number 2, the lighting trap. You probably don't think about it much, but the light hitting your eyes is one of the most powerful signals for your brain's alertness levels. So many of us work in dimly lit rooms, under the weak glow of a single lamp, and then wonder why we feel so sluggish and unmotivated. Neurobiologist Andrew Huberman talks a lot about how bright light, especially overhead light, is critical for setting our internal body clock and promoting alertness during the day. Getting enough bright light helps regulate the systems that release key neurochemicals for drive and focus. The fix is simple. Get as much bright, ideally natural, light as you can during your work hours. If you can, put your desk so it faces a window. If that's not an option, get a powerful daytime lamp or even a ring light to mimic the effects of sunlight. This one small change can make a huge difference in your energy and focus. Trigger number 3, the sound scourge. The wrong kind of noise can be just as distracting as visual clutter. A random conversation in the other room, a dog barking, or even music with lyrics can hijack your brain and pull you right out of deep work. The solution is to be intentional about your audio environment. This doesn't mean you need total silence. For a lot of people, silence can be just as distracting. Instead, use sounds that are actually known to help you focus. Research has shown that specific frequencies, like 40 Hz binaural beats, can improve concentration. Other great options are white noise, pink noise, or brown noise, which all work by covering up those unpredictable, jarring sounds with a consistent, soothing audio blanket. Try out a few different soundscapes and see what works for you. The goal is to create a predictable, non-distracting sound bubble where your brain can relax and lock in on the task at hand. All right, hit pause for a sec. If you're already feeling a little clearer just thinking about decluttering your space and sound, do me a favor and hit that subscribe button. We're about to dive into the digital world next, where the triggers get even sneakier, and you're not going to want to miss it. Okay, now let's talk about the environment where we spend most of our time, our digital space. Our phones and computers are amazing tools, but they've also become the #1 delivery system for distraction. And this is not an accident. Apps and websites are designed as part of an attention economy. Their main goal is to capture your focus and hold it for as long as they can. They do this with something called intermittent variable rewards. It's the same psychological hook that makes slot machines so addictive. Every notification, every ping, every little red badge is a gamble. It could be important, or it could be nothing. That, maybe, is what gives you a dopamine hit, creating a compulsion to check, and check, and check again. This constant flood of notifications puts our brains on high alert, which spikes our stress and cognitive load. Studies show that after just one notification, it can take you over 23 minutes to get your focus back on what you were doing. These constant interruptions don't just waste your time. They can literally double your error rate. It's a full-on assault on your productivity. So how do we exist in a digital world without becoming a victim of its design? We build a fortress. Here are the 3 biggest digital triggers and how to shut them down. Trigger number 4, the notification nightmare. The average smartphone user in the US gets around 46 push notifications a day, and that's a low estimate. Each one of those is someone or something else demanding your attention. Even if you ignore it, the sound or vibration alone is enough to break your concentration. The solution here is a ruthless digital purge. Author and computer scientist Cal Newport, who talks a lot about digital minimalism, suggests you really question what tools are adding true value to your life. Start by turning off all notifications on your phone and computer, except for the ones from actual people who might need you urgently, like phone calls or texts from your family. For everything else, email, social media, news alerts, turn them off. All of them. This isn't about ignoring your digital life. It's about engaging with it on your schedule. You'll check your email when you decide to, not when your inbox wants you to. This one change alone can give you back hours of focus time. Trigger number 5, the app avalanche. Your phone's home screen is prime real estate for your attention. If it's a chaotic mess of apps, with distracting social media right next to your work tools, you're setting yourself up to fail. Every time you unlock your phone to do something productive, you have to walk through a minefield of digital temptations. The solution is to practice digital zoning. You wouldn't put your bed in the kitchen, right? So don't put your fun apps right next to your work tools. Reorganize your phone into screens or folders that have a purpose. Keep your home screen for only essential, non-distracting tools. Shove all your social media and games onto a different screen or hide them in a folder, so you have to consciously swipe and tap to get to them. This creates just a little bit of friction, which is often enough to break that cycle of mindless, compulsive checking. Trigger number 6, the frictionless foe. The biggest problem with distracting apps and websites is just how easy they are to open. They're designed to have zero friction. One tap, and you're scrolling. That complete lack of resistance is what allows all that low-value digital noise to take over your time. So, the solution is to add back some intentional friction. Log out of your social media accounts on your phone's browser after you use them. The simple act of having to type in your password is a surprisingly powerful way to stop mindless checking. On your computer, use website blockers during your focus time. The goal isn't just to use these things less, but to make sure that the time you do spend on them is intentional. By adding these little roadblocks, you force yourself to take a pause and ask, do I really want to be doing this right now? That moment of pause is where you win back control. Fixing your environment isn't a one-and-done thing. It's about building a system that lasts. The ultimate goal is to make focus the easiest option, the path of least resistance. This is where rituals become your superpower. Just like you have the clear to neutral habit for your desk, you should create a digital shutdown ritual at the end of the day. Close all your tabs. Clear your downloads folder. Get your email inbox to 0. This ritual gives you a sense of closure and stops the mental clutter of unfinished work from spilling into your evening. Combine these physical and digital resets into a non-negotiable 10-minute routine. Over time, it'll become automatic. The time it takes for you to settle into deep work will get shorter and shorter. You'll find you don't need to rely on sheer willpower to stay focused anymore, because your environment will finally be working for you, not against you. So if you've been feeling constantly distracted and overwhelmed, I want you to hear this. It is not a personal failing. It's a completely natural response to a world that is overloaded with physical and digital noise. We've been sold this idea that productivity is all about hustling harder and having more willpower, but the science is crystal clear. The space you are in shapes the thoughts you can have and the work you can do. By systematically getting rid of these triggers, the clutter, the bad lighting, the chaotic noise, the endless notifications, the messy apps, and the frictionless digital access, you're not just cleaning up. You are redesigning your life for focus. You're taking back control from all the external forces that have been quietly draining your most valuable resource, your attention. You have the blueprint now. Start with just one trigger. Pick one thing from this list, implement the solution today, and just feel the difference it makes. You are in control. Your focus is yours to command.